Barnaby Bear was a young bear with fur the color of warm gingerbread and eyes like polished chestnuts. He lived with his mama and papa in a cozy den tucked into the roots of an ancient oak tree, its walls lined with soft moss and the comforting scent of pine needles and drying berries. Barnaby was a curious cub, and while he loved tumbling through sun-dappled meadows by day, it was the night sky that truly captured his imagination. He would sit at the mouth of their den, his snout pointing upwards, marveling at the sprinkle of diamond dust stars and the serene, glowing face of the moon. Besides stargazing, Barnaby had another quiet hobby. He was a collector of buttons. Not just any buttons, but lost buttons, forgotten buttons, buttons with stories whispered into their pearly faces or etched into their wooden rims. He had a little wooden box where he kept his treasures, a stern brass button from a long-lost soldier's coat, a tiny flower-shaped button made of glass that shimmered like a trapped rainbow, and a smooth gray stone button he'd found by the riverbank. One late afternoon, while exploring near the Whispering Falls, where mist danced above the rushing water, Barnaby's keen eyes spotted something nestled amongst the damp ferns. It was a button unlike any he had ever seen. It was perfectly round, the color of the deepest twilight sky, and it seemed to glow with a soft internal luminescence, like a captured moonbeam. It wasn't cold, like glass or metal, but felt strangely warm and smooth in his paw. He named it his night sky button and placed it in the most special compartment of his collection box. That evening, as the large, creamy moon climbed high above the great forest, Barnaby was in his usual spot, gazing upwards. He held his new night sky button in his paw, turning it over and over. As he looked at the familiar, magnificent moon, he noticed something peculiar. Just to the side of it, hanging like a tiny, distant silver droplet, was another light. It was much smaller, perfectly round, and shone with a gentle, steady glow. It looked exactly like a button, a perfect, shining, celestial button. Barnaby's heart gave a little thump. He'd never noticed it before. Was it new? Or had he just never looked closely enough? He held up his own night sky button, aligning it with the tiny light in the sky. As he did, a faint, almost inaudible hum seemed to pass between his button and the distant button moon. The luminescence in his paw pulsed in time with the soft glow in the heavens. A shiver of wonder trickled down Barnaby's spine. He closed his eyes for a moment, just holding his button, feeling that gentle thrum. When he opened them, the world around him seemed different, softer. The edges of the trees were not as sharp. The chirping of the crickets sounded like a lullaby, and the air itself felt woven with silver threads. He looked at the button moon again, his special button still held aloft. It wasn't pulling him anywhere, not like in the grand adventure stories Papa Bear sometimes told. Instead, it felt like a window was opening, a very quiet, very personal window. As he focused on the button moon, tiny, shimmering images, no bigger than a firefly, began to drift down, visible only to him. They weren't solid, but more like illusions made of moonlight. He saw Old Man Owl, not just perched on his branch, but dreaming of soaring over cloud oceans. He saw Mrs. Rabbit, tucked in her burrow, her nose twitching, as she dreamt of fields carpeted in the sweetest clover. He saw the littlest fox kit curled against its mother, dreaming of playfully chasing its own tail through a meadow of stars. The button moon wasn't for grand voyages. It was for seeing the quiet, hidden heart of the forest at night. It showed him the dreams of his sleeping neighbors, the secret wishes whispered to the stars, and the gentle rhythm of life beating softly in the darkness. Night after night, Barnaby would sit with his night sky button, watching his button moon. Sometimes it would show him the paths the moonbeams took as they filtered through the leaves, painting silver patterns on the forest floor. Other times, he would see the intricate webs the spider spun, each one a delicate map bejeweled with dew. He learned where the shyest deer slept and which flowers only opened their petals to the moon's gentle kiss. One evening, as he watched through the button moon's magic, he saw a tiny dormouse, no bigger than his thumb, looking lost and frightened. It had wandered too far from its nest in the old hazel tree and was squeaking pitifully. Barnaby, guided by the button moon's gentle light, which seemed to highlight a safe path for the little creature that only he could perceive, quietly got up. He didn't go directly to the dormouse, as that might scare it more. Instead, he hummed a very soft, low tune that Mama Bear used to hum to him, and slowly walked in a wide circle that subtly nudged the dormouse back towards the familiar scent of hazel. The little dormouse, hearing the gentle sound and perhaps sensing a friendly presence, eventually found its way back to its cozy bed. Barnaby smiled. His button moon hadn't just shown him things, it had helped him do a small, quiet good. The button moon remained Barnaby's secret, a silent companion in the vast, beautiful night. He understood that its magic wasn't about changing the world in big ways, but about seeing the wonder that was already there, in the small things, in the quiet moments. His special night sky button, always warm in his paw, was a reminder that everyone, even a little bear with a collection of lost treasures, could have their own unique connection to the magic of the universe, a tiny, shining button in the grand tapestry of the night sky. And as he drifted off to sleep each night, Barnaby Bear felt a deep sense of peace, knowing his button moon was watching over the forest and over him.
Like and subscribe to this channel for more stories. Thank you.